Welcome back, everyone. This is the thejonnymar, and I am continuing with Final Fantasy II for the PSP. So I'm currently north of Mysidia. We have finished all of our fetch quests to get the Crystal Rod. We also got the masks, and now we are finally able to head to Mysidian Tower to seek Ultima. So you'll notice I am going to unequip Layla here, and that is for no particular reason. Don't pay attention to that unless you're playing along with me, in which case, unequip Layla. But if you're just watching this, note that I have increased some of my spells again, continuing to work on them, again around 6 to 7, and I started to work on the Drain and Osmosis spells. So Drain, of course, gives you health back from the enemy. It's a semi-useful spell. The real powerful spell here is Osmosis, and that, what it does, or Osmos in this case, is it gives you MP back. Now, it used to be called Aspel in the original version, and what it did in that version is it gave you MP back automatically. It didn't matter if the enemy had MP. In this version of the game, the enemy does have to have MP, and so it's a little bit less effective than the NES version of the game, but it's still pretty useful. So we're going to head north here to Mysidian Tower. It has been a long time in what is going on here. Please tell me we don't have another stupid little side quest to do. Oh man. We're going in. This scene always reminded me of the game Grandia. Mainly from the graphical perspective. Where are we? We're in this mysterious place that we have no idea what it is. I guess we'll have to advance to find out and see if maybe we'll find... Oh, it's Leviathan. That kind of gives it away, right? The original version didn't tell you where you were, and you didn't find out until you actually progressed through the dungeon a little bit. So notice we're walking through some acid here. That is, I guess, stomach acid or acid in Leviathan's, I don't know, esophagus or whatever. It does damage to you. We also got a Twisted Headband, which is a new equipment that we're going to stick on Guy. So that'll increase his defense and also his physical attack power. It's also going to increase his accuracy. So it's a nice little piece of equipment for us to use. So yeah, we're going to take damage walking through that acid. What's nice about the acid pools is that they only do 1 damage per character for each step that you take. And since we have over 1,000 hit points worth of health, that really is not something we're concerned about. We picked up another piece of armor here, the Power Sash. Not useful for Guy, but it's actually useful for Firion. At least temporarily. We're going to get Firion's best armor in a little while, and so for now he can use the Power Sash, though. So I really like to use the... And here we have, nicely, that's convenient, all 3 of the enemy types you're going to find here in Leviathan. The Boltfish, the Sea Dragon, and the Manta Ray. So the Boltfish, as its name kind of tells you, is actually able to absorb lightning, but the other 2 are actually weak to it. So if you're facing a bunch of Boltfish, just kill them with physical attacks. If you're facing the other 2, you can use your Thunder... Whoa. Yeah, that's a special ability that Sea Dragons don't use super often. That's kind of cool, I got to show it off. But yeah, just blast them with Thunder, unless it's the Boltfish, then just use physical attacks. So it really is worthwhile to just walk through the acid, because you're going to take less damage from doing that than you are from doing random encounters, and you cannot face enemies while you're in the acid. Now, Leviathan is not super long. It's actually only 3 floors. So this is the 2nd floor, and you'll notice that there are actually some people in here. And not only are there people, but there's actually, like, tables and barrels and bookcases. So we'll come back to you, Mr. Dragoon. But basically, either Leviathan swallowed all of these people and these items, or they kind of tailored them out of stuff that was in Leviathan in the first place. We got a new piece of equipment here, the Power Armlet. We're going to stick that on Guy too. We want to boost his attack as much as possible. And now we're going to talk to this Dragoon. I wonder who it could be. Do we know about a mysterious Dragoon that kind of disappeared earlier in the game? We're going to ask him some stuff. He's surprised that we know about Ultima. We're going to ask him about the Dragoons, and he's like, I don't really want to talk about that. I am a Dragoon, but I don't want to believe that they're all gone, and basically they've been destroyed. That's not possible. To advance past him, you need to show him the crystal rod. So here's my rod, man. What do you think of it? And he's impressed by our rod. He says, yeah, you guys must be seeking Ultima as well. I noticed from the wonderfulness of that rod of yours, and so I'm gonna not only let you by, but I'm gonna come with you, because there is a very powerful enemy guarding the ship. That's right, a ship that's gonna allow us to escape from here. And it's Rickard, or Richard in the original version. So yay, we got another party member to replace our fallen party member. How convenient. It's almost like whenever we lose a party member, we get a new one back. It's like they're doing that intentionally or something. So Rickard, as you notice, actually has really low health comparative to the rest of our party, but his other stats are pretty good. And so he's going to be a physical attacker, and basically he's going to be using spears just like Furion, and all he's doing is killing stuff. That's his only job. Now you can train him however you want. You can teach him magic if you want. You can give him new weapons. He specializes default in swords and spears. So those are his two weapons of choice. So here we're going to talk to all the other people in Leviathan. They're wondering if they're going to be stuck here forever. Talk to this old guy, and he says that Leviathan, the reason he's here is because he protects the seal, and he'll swallow up anyone with a crystal rod. And apparently, this old guy has a crystal rod too, so he had to go through all of the trials that we went through. Or basically, someone was just handing out crystal rods on the outside. And apparently, they've been here for quite a while. So this old guy had the crystal rod. Leviathan, I guess, swallowed all of these people, or has systematically swallowed all these people. It's a little unclear from their dialogue what's happened to them. But we care not for them. We are on a quest to save the world. So screw those people. They can live out their lives here in Leviathan, and we're just going to get out of here. With some new equipment like the Gaia Blade. That is an earth elemental sword that we're going to throw on Guy. And then there's one more chest for us to pick up, and that is a diamond shield with a monster in a box. And that's actually going to take on some red souls, if you remember those guys from earlier in the game. But we are almost done with Leviathan. It's a pretty short area. We're going to save, and then we're going to take on the boss of this area, the Roundworm. So there is a completely intact ship over there. Guess it's not ours. Ours was destroyed, but that one is okay. So as you might expect, Roundworm, pretty standard procedure. It's going to be our standard procedure for the rest of the game. We're going to use Berserk on our physical attackers, and we're going to attack it. And it has around 2,000 to 2,500 hit points. I think it's closer to 2,500. So it's not super dangerous. It's got some fairly powerful physical attacks, but nothing to really worry about. Especially when your Berserk fighter gets 2 attacks in a row. So down it goes. And we are free to leave. We're going to take all those people with us, right? Nope, screw them. We don't care. It's just us. We got a world to save. Alright, so we're back in a ship. We're on a boat again. We're going to head back to Altair. We're going to rest and sell some items, and then I will meet you back here before we head towards the Crystal Tower to finally get Ultima. Alright, so I am fully healed. I have sold my items, and we're ready to head into the Crystal Tower as I took out a random encounter. So click on the Crystal Tower, and you'll use your Crystal Rod. It's not the Crystal Tower, I just realized. Why am I calling it that? It's Mysidia Tower. We get a fun little cutscene here, and then it takes us inside Mysidia Tower, which is by far the longest dungeon in the game to this point. Some pretty awesome music. I'm just going to let you enjoy the music for a sec while I collect these first items. Alright, so the first item of note is the white robe here. That is Firian's best armor in the game, for the most part. So why is it really good armor for him? Well, it not only increases his defense and magic defense, but it also increases his spirit by 10 points. So very useful armor for Firian, because obviously he is a white mage. And then we're going to move his power sash to Rickard, because Rickard, of course, can utilize that to be a little bit stronger with his physical attacks. Unfortunately, we cannot go through the wall to advance here. We're going to have to continue back where we came in. There is one more chest on this level, although it is completely useless. It just has a staff in it. And that is going to be par for the course. There are some useful chests in these areas, but again, some of them are useless as well. So we're done with one floor. This place is roughly, I think, 11 floors tall. Each floor isn't super long, but again, the encounter rate is pretty high, so you can expect this to take a while. And you'll notice we're in kind of a fiery-looking area. The tower is split, so we have some new enemies here, the vampire girls. They are undead, so you can kill them with the life spell. They're also weak to fire, and they will drain your health when they attack you. And Killer Mantis just use physical attacks. We've seen them before. But Mysidia Tower is split into elemental floors. There are 3 elemental floors, and then you'll have to take out an elemental boss. So we are on the first fire floor. Not super tough. Again, as we progress through these levels, you'll notice that there are some of those environmental kind of hazards, so to speak, that actually end up helping you. All of these rooms, for the most part, are trap rooms, so don't worry about them, unless I show you them in particular. And a couple new enemies as well. The Imp. Well, the Werewolf, I think we've seen before. I've fought that before. I don't know if I've shown it on camera, but pretty standard. The Imp will actually use Confuse on your party if you give it a chance, and it'll blink itself to increase its evasion. So it can be annoying. The Werewolf just uses physical attacks. So we're almost done with floor 2 here, or the first floor of the fire area. So we're going to continue up the stairs, and then we're going to find our first environmental hazard, which is lava. So just like the acid in Leviathan, lava does 1 damage for each step you take. We want to take the left door here. You'll notice it's actually waterfalling in this area. So because there's an item over here, we're going to stay in the lava. We're going to get the flame sword, which is actually a useful piece of flame equipment. We're going to stick that on Guy, and then we'll move his Gaia sword over to Rickard. In general, swords are now going to become some of the most powerful weapons in the game. So if you have a character that is specializing in swords, you should really use those swords. Some more new enemies, the Basilisk and a Malborotera. Malborotera, nothing to worry about too much. You can usually kill it pretty fast. The Basilisks, for anyone that knows the legend or has played other games, they try to petrify you. But again, our evasion and magic defense are so high that it's going to be very difficult for them to hit. And even if they do, we have lots of gold needles, and or we have Asunya up to level 7, but we can recover that status pretty quickly. And you'll notice they only attacked 1 party member at a time, so it's not a party-wide ability. So I'm not too concerned about them. All of this flame equipment, the flame armor, helm, shield, etc., I'm not using it. We like to keep all of our party members pretty diverse. So here's our first boss of the Mysidia Tower. It is a lowly mage. And so it is going to change into something more intimidating. And that is the Fire Gigas. Oh man, we remember how dangerous this guy who can't keep his pants up is. So we would imagine he's going to be pretty powerful this time too. But keep in mind, the last time we fought them, we did not have... Oh, I missed. The Berserk spell. We also didn't have Mini. They're actually able to be hit by the Mini spell. Wow. And Berserk, as usual, is super, super effective. And we get another Flame Sword. Useful. Yeah, but there's nothing cooler than hitting those guys, these big intimidating bosses, with the mini spell and making them die instantly. Maybe we can hit another one with it. So the second area is based on another element, which is ice. So as you might expect, you're going to be taking on enemies that, well, they don't really do ice damage, but a couple new enemies. I'll show them off if we encounter them. And you're going to be getting a lot of ice equipment. Again, most of the ice equipment is heavy armor, not useful for us, so I'm not going to be using it. If you want to use it, you certainly can. And then instead of lava, we're having these little ice spikes. So they are similar. They will do 1 point of damage for each step you take on them. And we finally got a new lance, or spear for Furion, and that is the ice lance. So that's pretty cool. We've been sitting on that fire lance for a little while since we got to Mysidia. And then there's another pass-through wall up here, or invisible wall, that allows us to get past having to do a huge part of this level. So the exit is up here to the north, and then a little bit more here we have to do, walk over some damaging ice spikes. We can go through the wall again, and then we'll grab this chest before taking on the second elemental Gigas. And we get the ice brand. So we're going to stick that on Guy. It's funny how they give you the elements of the area you're in, right? And you think, well, I don't want to use that because the Gigas is probably strong to that element, but it doesn't really matter. So second mage, he's going to be an ice Gigas this time. So he's going to do his little transform again. Go Super Saiyan on us, so to speak. Very intimidating. Maybe we'll get him with Mini this time. If not, well, we'll kill him in 1 or 2 rounds with Berserk. Come on, Mini. Do it. Oh, well. Just adds to the suspense. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah! Mini'd. So powerful. So next time we will continue up the tower. Thanks for watching, viewers. I'll see you all next time. So long.